Good morning, Bati. I guess not morning for you.
Hi, Melissa. Good
Hi.
Yeah, it's like, oh, today it's been not recorded yet, or recording. Anyway, this is like tire change, winter tires to summer tires. I was like, and I was garage cleaning as well. I was like, today was a long day. So,
Yes.
how are things? How are you
Well,
since
when are
2
you
weeks?
coming over? Are you getting excited for CDCon here?
Yes, definitely. Like, we have been pretty busy with all the news we will announce, which is a good problem to have, to be honest. Like, because
Yeah, definitely.
it's I can't talk about those things because it's recorded. But yeah, we have lots of news to share, and we'll make 2 press releases with project updates and so on. And it was like I really am amazed, like all the projects like CD Vance, Tecton, Ortelius,
Yes.
Jenkins. I was like I was overwhelmed with the amount of news we plan to announce, like, and the other things like the interoperability topic, like what we discussed last time, that
Yeah.
is getting hot as well. So
Yep. Yep. You're
I'm
going to be
pretty,
pulled in a number of different directions here pretty soon.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
arriving Saturday afternoon. When do you arrive?
What's that? Oh, I
When
arrive
will you arrive?
Sunday evening.
Sunday evening. But yeah,
Yeah.
we will see each other for
Yes.
drinks. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'll be able to get there in time. So yeah, I'm really,
yeah.
really looking forward to it. And hi, Dadisi. Glad to see you here.
Hey,
I'm
that's
super
Good morning.
excited to get together and talk about, where we're going to go from here.
yeah,
Get some action items in place and start moving forward. I really, really want to start moving with the pipelines thing, but I feel like I need
yeah,
a little bit more background on even just how to start. Like, what's our first step? And something I wanted to do was, during the event, talk with, those that started out CD events and see if we can learn from that process and do the same thing. I want to repeat the same thing. And
yeah. Maybe we can build on top of what CD Vance did. Like, I don't know if
exactly.
Teddy agrees, but and that's why I was like, this Wednesday thing. I then realized that this won't be there Wednesday as well. I think you are leaving around noon or something, that so I will cancel that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Okay.
instead I will put time for Project Summit, CD Vance Project Summit, so you can have that in your calendar, and we go to Project Summit, and then if time allows, then we can discuss some other things based on this pipeline standardization, DSL, intent-based pipelines, and all those things.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
There
Other
was.
thing,
Oh, go ahead.
question, sorry to interrupt,
No worries.
Melissa. Like, we had presentation from Dagger and a few other folks like years ago, I think more than a
Yes.
year now.
Yes.
Could we reach out to them again and bring them so they can update us, and then we can update them based on our thinking and highlight some of the, updates based on CD Vance progress and some other topics?
Yes, absolutely. I want to reach out to them.
Yeah, Dagger, yeah.
We discussed it a little bit last time, and I didn't have the link then, but I did add it to our notes for last time. So here's the link to the recording that they did. But yes, I'm really interested in bringing them back in to have more of a discussion. I think they have a lot more input on, anything we do around pipelines, things like that. So did DC?
Sorry, I just jumped into topics, like I don't want to destroy the meeting. I am excited, so that's why.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We didn't have much of an agenda for this meeting. We're going to go over the action items we had from last time. I'm still in the process of cleaning things up. I'd like to have all of that done by CDCon so that, when we start talking to people and introducing interoperability again, we've got a fresh start. And, clear everything updated and all of that stuff going on. So I'll be working on those the rest of this week and getting that completed. As far as Dagger, do we even know? I don't know when. I wonder if they are like when we would run into them again at a conference, but we
Well,
can
I might have, let me see if I have mail from some years ago, or if I can find out who. Okay, so I found Jeremy Adams. I don't know if he's
Yes.
still with Dagger. So I have his email address. I can reach out and introduce you and Odyssey, and then you can take it from there if you want.
I think
That would be great.
Yeah.
One thought that I had was the meeting that we just had with the folks from the CNCF. I mean, somebody else has to be thinking about how to solve this problem. You know, any collaboration or any, especially if they're looking to use CD events, anything that we can do to, extend those connections, I think that would help us a lot in just trying to find people who are interested. Because if the interoperability SIG is just us three right now, I think
Right.
that's the other side of it too. We're going to need some bodies.
Yeah, I think that is, thanks for reminding that Odyssey. So, Melissa, do you want to, do you know the background of this?
No. No, but something I was going to
Maybe-
bring up was there was a discussion that has been going around that maybe combining interoperability and CD events would be something to
Not
consider.
the combination, but I think interoperability is broader than CD events. But what we discussed there, let me put a link to the chat.
Okay.
So platform tag app delivery. So this, like, we have been talking with a few people from tag app delivery quite some time now, but this, like, the collaboration hasn't really started, just talking about potential collaboration opportunities. And then during TÜVCon Europe in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago, I put the link to chat. Me, Andrea, and Emil, Brad, Thomas Schwetz, and Alois, I think. We met with them. This platform's white paper was published like 2-3 weeks ago, I think. And
Okay.
then if you go down, there is a diagram there. If you go down, the way the conversation started was like, okay, they have this diagram. If you click to that one, I can highlight what we discussed.
Is it
Or-
active or?
Or maybe right click, open picture or something, so we can open image new tab, so we can zoom in possible.
There we go. That's
Yeah.
better.
So what we discussed there, like if you look at all those big boxes like identify and authorize, scan artifacts, enforce policy, automate build, test, and delivery, and that automate build and test delivery is like continuous delivery stuff and so on. But what came up during discussion is like, there is no interoperability between these large boxes. Apart from that, there is no interoperability between what is in the box. And that was the conversation starter. And then the idea was like, okay, maybe we should start talking about how we can find out the way forward for bringing some interoperability to this ecosystem. Because app delivery is about app delivery. It's pretty relevant to what we are doing. And that's how we end up joining their meeting yesterday, actually. And their plan is to look at like what CD Events is doing and maybe make that part of this potato head. I don't know if you remember that project. Potato head up. I'm putting that link as well. So they can kind of demonstrate CD Events and how broader interoperability can be achieved through CD Events. That is, I don't know if I summarized it properly, but that was, I think, the like very short summary of yesterday's conversation.
No, I think that is the summary indeed. I think part of what I took away from that too, as they were, sparking this interest in CD events, is that there was some conversation about, hey, how are we going to visualize these events? Is this, does this include observability? And did we want to add observability events to CD events? technically, I don't think that's something that we'd want to do, but when we start thinking about the event broker, it should be able to handle, many different types of events. And that was the feedback that I was trying to communicate in that meeting. But I think if we get them to start using CD events and understanding the usefulness of it, then that becomes that becomes the onus to have a conversation about, okay, how would a DSL now communicate with a system that uses this? And then you can build your DSL around that and have some sort of centralized DSL. I know our goal is to start with the CI and to be a CI DSL, but just having a conversation about the broader schema and spec and what the backbone of that would look like, because it's about foundationally coming up with a set of rules that this is going to be built around in the spec, at least in my mind, before we try to tackle like all of the small use cases for a DSL. Does that make sense, or am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what do you think our next step should be? What to do now?
I think
Have this discussion at on. And
I think we need to update our roadmap.
Yeah.
Because we are discussing these things like tag up delivery, the broker, the DSL, the visualization, and these are broader than CD events. Like CD events, yes, it is an important part of this conversation, but if you can put these things in a Google Doc, for example, without going into details, like instead of like not describing how, but at least what, like job DSL visualization, or not job DSL visualization, metrics, observability, and then based on that, we can try to identify connections, dependencies, relations to other groups, projects, both within CDF and outside. Because like the other thing that's happening is like Open Mainframe is interested in working with CDF and interoperability and CD events, and that is nowhere to be seen because we don't have it in anywhere. So if you can have that like roadmap, the SIG interop roadmap kind of refreshed, then we can, pass it to others as well, saying these are the topics we will start working on, come join us.
Cool. Okay. And
I
this would
agree.
be,
I agree.
yeah. And who would do that? Is this under the purview of CD events group to update the roadmap, or we're gonna?
No, so I think it's SIG interop roadmap. CD events has its own roadmap. I don't know if we started updating the road. No, we haven't. Like, I can put the link to, let me put SIG interop roadmap. We achieved some of those things already.
Yeah, I think what it should be is interoperability roadmap is about glue, right? We are the bits to say, okay, this is the next piece of glue that we need to bring these things together. CD event is one way to do that. Then the DSL would be one way to do that. And it might, at least in my mind, it might not necessarily stay in the interoperability SIG. It might be launched from the interoperability SIG. We might create the need, start the spec, but then find the people who actually are going to carry it all the way forward. And that way we can keep looking at the bigger picture of the CDF and gluing the things together, and also try to find more projects to join the CDF that might be a good fit. And even talking about more collaboration with like the CNCF. I think if we are digging through the problem of just being glue and extending it, then that's the operation of the interoperability. And a really clear statement about the separation of what we're trying to do and then what individual projects like CD events are. Does that make sense, or am I overreaching? I mean,
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and that sounds similar to the process of CD events in the beginning as well. So, I mean, yep, launching that from here makes sense. Okay, well,
awesome.
is this something we can look at together when we see each other next week? This roadmap?
Yes, please. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Let's sit down and do that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's add that to our list of to-dos when we're there. It's going to be an exciting few days. All right. The other thing that was kind of open from last time was the white paper. And did you see you were looking at that for a little bit? Have you had a chance to get any further with that or have anything you want to
So-
share around?
Other than the conversation that Fatih and I had, I'm a little bit stacked right now, so I have not moved that any further. I have a couple other things to move forward for Apple first, and then yes, I will go back and take the information that we got. We had a really good conversation, and we got some great notes, and I've actually used some of that for other things. But no, it was I think he helped me get over some of the issues that I was having, trying to figure these things out.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. All right, I meant to say this at the very beginning and I didn't. I actually need to leave town here in about 45 minutes. So I need to end just a little bit early, but I want to make sure that we get to talk about everything we wanted to this time. I know it's just the three of us again. So anything new that you want to add to our list, or we have enough to work on between now and between when we meet again at CD events? Anything else?
I think we do. I think, just mission clarity and with the roadmap and just a statement about, what the role is of the interoperability SIG. I'm gonna learn how to say that one day. Is awesome. And the work on the white paper, I have a lot to do. So I think this is good for me. I don't want to overcommit.
Okay, cool. I'd love to help with the white paper more. If you have suggestions or need input on anything, reach out to me. Feel free to do that anytime. I'm in Slack, email, whatever. Tag me on the document.
I would appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot on you right now. Let's see what else. That's all that I had this time around. Oh, as far as sponsorship, it did come up again in our TOC meeting last time we met. I did let Andrea know I'm willing to step up and be the sponsor for this SIG. But between now and the next TOC meeting, I want to be able to gather enough info to be able to present to the TOC what we're doing and what our plans are. I think now is a good time to do it. It's been a long time. So I'll ask Andrea about being able to talk about that at the next TOC meeting. I think we'll have enough to bite off there. All right, well, if that's it, I guess for the benefit of anyone who might watch this recording in the future, any of these things that come out of us meeting at CDCon in person, we'll make sure to make those available as well, in some form, documents or notes or whatever, so that people can catch up.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
All right. That's
See you
it.
Sunday.
Yeah. Excited to see you. Okay.
Yeah, same here. Safe trip.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.